Hello, everyone. I'm Precious, and the T1 research area that I focused on is diet and ketosis. Just to clarify some of the terms and concepts that will be covered in the following slides, I'm just going to define what I mean by keto diet and diet in general. I'm not referring to calorie restrictive diets or even using the keto diet with the goal to lose weight. I'm just referring to a high fat, low carbohydrate diet, which is what the keto diet is. And when the researchers discuss the keto diet and ketosis, they're referring to the ability to metabolize and digest those fats in a process that makes ketone and acetone byproducts. The acetone biomarker is being used in this study that's titled up here because of the researchers' ability to actually measure acetone levels in the breath. They've noticed that there hasn't been much research showcasing those capabilities because of the difficulty surrounding the technical details of that. So they wanted to really highlight that as a biomarker. And they used other biomarkers as well to validate the measurements that they were getting from these acetone levels in the different participants. And the reason why this was a T1 study is because it was a phase 1 clinical trial, and it was a small study with only 11 participants. And they did a physiological analysis by measuring the rate of ketosis, and they administered the keto diet as a new therapy to this group. So the objectives of the researchers, again, was to give an in-depth analysis of what happens during ketosis in a nutritional and fasting ketosis state, meaning when you eat the foods and you immediately burn those fats from the foods that you're eating, or when you aren't eating and your body is clearing those ketones from the blood. And this was a 7-day study that took about 3 weeks to complete, but each person was analyzed on a 7-day schedule. I mentioned before that it was 11 participants, and they were generally healthy. No diabetes or other metabolic disorder was noted, and there were about 7 males and 4 females. And the 7-day period involved having diet A, B, and C administered throughout that time frame, with A being the lowest fat ratio and C having the highest fat ratio. With I think A was about 30%, 29 or 30% fat. B was 79% fat, and C was 90% fat. And they analyzed the ketone and acetone levels accordingly, and the results showed that the 79% diet, which was administered in phase 2, I need to confirm that, had the highest rate of ketosis. And they also were able to analyze some information regarding fat metabolism as a whole with the participants. And the lower BMI group, which was the lowest weight group, had the highest fat metabolism rate, which was measured by ketone buildup. I'm kind of rushing through these explanations, but the article has a lot of the graphs and the processes discussed in detail. So why this was a translational study to me is because it took something that is popularized in science of public health, and that is the keto diet, and gave it some significance in the clinical measurements that they covered. So yes, weight loss is something that is clinically significant and that you can see and measure on a scale, but to show how this is happening and what rate of ketosis is contributing to this, I think was the really translational part of the study. And ketosis is something that has been highlighted as a tool for diabetes monitoring with the blood sugar levels, as well as improving epilepsy symptoms. So this study took it to the next level, in my opinion, just to show which nutrients and chemical interactions were contributing to that. And it was an interdisciplinary project, and I say that because all of the researchers worked at the same engineering school of biodesign at Arizona State University. And although there were analytical chemists, biochemists, and engineers, their field of study was still the biochemical aspects of the body and what is happening when we digest or ingest different chemicals. They just have different areas and expertise in how to display it, whether they're displaying it in analytical chemistry settings, biochemistry settings, or engineering settings. That was my understanding of the group's background. And this aligns with my research interests because it shows how nutrition can be administered in a therapeutic setting, in a therapeutic way. Although these were healthy individuals, we were still able to get some information on the biochemical processes that happen in humans. So I think that's helpful in showing that nutrition plays a role in that. And it also helps increase the awareness of the role that nutrition can play in disease management in terms of the connections that have been made between diet and improving diabetes and epilepsy symptoms. And the article also discussed how an individualized diet approach is the best based off of the results that they were getting, the preliminary results. But it still is just in line with my research interests, and I think they did a really good job in showing the different ways that this could be used to build further studies. And these are the references, and that's all. Thank you.
Hi, Precious. I appreciate you adding another comment so that we could see your presentation. I suspect you probably just didn't share it the first time, which is this a critical but often missed step with VoiceThread. But really nice presentation. I thought this was a good example of a T1 study. At first, I was trying to figure out if it was, because it was sort of looking more at a the physiology of it, but as you pointed out, it really did include an intervention, which of course was the diet, and it also was essentially a phase 1 clinical trial looking at a healthy group of volunteers. So I think that this fits the bill in terms of T1, and I'm glad you're able to find something that fits into your research interests, and I appreciate you sharing with us the backgrounds of the collaborators on the study as well. So looking forward to your future presentations in the next few weeks.
I really liked your presentation. I like how you're really like looking at different articles that really hit on what you're interested in, and it was pretty cool how this fit like very well in that study of understanding ketosis. I didn't know that it helped with epilepsy, so that's very interesting. I worked with a patient years ago that had like very severe epilepsy, and like I mean, I think they definitely gave her like seizure meds, but I feel like, oh, that's like a great idea to think of, like, oh, like maybe adjusting the diet as well. So it's kind of cool to see, like, from like a diet standpoint of like what you can do as well, outside just only like a drug or pharmaceutical basis. So thanks for your presentation. I thought it was very interesting.